Hello everyone, this is Toyo from Hokogo Card Time, and today we're gonna rank them, the top 10 most unique cards in Cardfight Vanguard. So this is gonna be a new series on our channel where we take a concept or like an idea and rank Vanguard cards based on that idea. Now most of the time we're gonna be using objective data, but while we wait for our database to be set up, I thought we'd try something fun and lighthearted and just try to rank cards based on my personal subjective take. Now, Vanguard is a game where a lot of effects are repeated in a lot of cards, like stand this unit, or this unit gets plus 10k and a crit, or some variation of card restrict, especially the Battledore effects, like those has been super plentiful. But even in a card game where a lot of effects are being repeated, there are some effects that are truly unique and exist only on one singular card, and today we're going to be ranking them based on the most unique to the least unique. So there is one caveat, however, there will be no Bermuda Triangle cards on this list, and the reason for that is because Bermuda Triangle honestly has enough cards that if I wanted to, could make another list just using the Bermuda Triangle cards. So maybe that's for the future, but for this list, it's going to be no Bermuda Triangle cards. So just the other 23 clans essentially. Now, before we get into the list proper, there are some honorable mentions. These are a stand-in for all the unit effects. That's a bit hard to pronounce. So basically, you know how Daikaiser always retires an opponent's guardians and nullifies their sentinels, or how Valios always locks an opponent's power to 11k. The honorable mention goes to all those cards because those cards have effects that are repeated in different units, but well, lore-wise, it's the same like characters, so they still have that signature effect. And well, yeah. So the honorable mention goes to all those cards. Valios, Brand, Daikaiser, and so on and so on. So yeah, that's all for the honorable mentions. Now we can get to the list proper. Starting off with number 10, we have from Premium Collection 2020, Heat Elemental Fua. Huan? Yeah, one of those. So Heat Elemental Huan is a great 1 gray elemental from the new set Premium Collection 2020. Now this card is unique because it's the only card in Vanguard that forces the player's Vanguards to attack. So as you know, in Vanguard you can choose not to attack, which is where the term draw pass comes from, where you just write up, like draw, write up, and then not swing with your Vanguard and end the turn. Huan makes it so you're unable to do that because you're forced to attack. And your opponent is also forced to attack. Like, that's a complete break of the game rule, and to my knowledge, it's the only card that breaks that rule, and sits so neither player can skip their attack step. So yeah, that's I think pretty interesting. And now moving on to number 9, we have Majesty Lord Blaster. Now Majesty Lord Blaster, there's like 3 versions of it. The one I'm talking about is the promo version given out to winners of the Vanguard Zero tournament in 2020. This card is unique because it's Majesty Lord Blaster, but instead of having an ability, it's instead a critical trigger with no abilities, but it's still a grade 3 and it still has 10k power. So yeah, this is the only trigger unit that is not a grade 0 that is playable for tournament play. That alone is like super unique. I'm pretty sure we're never gonna get that in another card because this is a one-off promo for for Vanguard Zero tournament winners. So if you're a Vanguard Zero player, this is a card for you to work towards. It's really cool, the foiling is really nice, and it's gonna be a piece of Vanguard history for sure. Now, moving on to number 8, we have Samurai Chieftain, Hyuga. So Hyuga is a Murakuma unit with the ability of changing your opponent's card names. Now, in Vanguard, there are a lot of cards that can change your card names, most notably in Neo Nectar and Murakumo. Changing names is sort of the main gimmick, but Hyuga is the only card that changes your opponent's card names. Like, they make your opponent's units become Hyuga. And lore-wise, well, that's really cool for one. And secondly, gameplay-wise, that opens up a lot of opportunities. Like you can mess with your opponent's card name, etc. And yeah, I'm really happy that they made Hyuga because this ability is really cool. I hope we see more of it in the coming like Murakumo sets. And yeah, I just really like Hyuga, so this card is on the list. Now, moving on to number 7, we have Dragon Deity of Destruction Gizeh and his flip side, Neon Gizeh. So, as you can probably guess by the way I said the other side, Gizeh is on this list because he is the only double-faced card in Vanguard. This is the only card where the backside of the card isn't the usual Vanguard card pack, but instead it's another unit entirely. That alone is worthy of an inclusion, but the dragon side of Gizeh, the stride side, has another unique line of text where it says your Zarak dragons are unaffected by all abilities except for your guardians. So that's, I think, I'm pretty sure Giza is the only one that says cannot be affected, right? Because all other cards say either cannot be retired or cannot be chosen, but Giza straight up makes them unaffected. I think that's super unique. And well, I'm glad it's only on Giza because this kind of ability shouldn't be on any other card because cards that cannot be interacted with aren't fun. So yeah, Giza could probably be higher on the list, but I want to show off some of the more newer designs. Like for example, in number 6, we have Unit Commander Glegio. So Glegio is a Dimension Police Grade 3 with the twist of instead of making you pay cost, you instead make your opponent pay a cost to prevent an effect. Now, there are some cards which work similar to Glegio in that Seal Dragons make your opponent call grade 2 units to stop you from using your effects. But Glegio is different because it's the only one that straight up makes your opponent pay a counterblast 1 to deny you an effect, which is, huh, that's new. Making your opponent pay your cost. That's never been seen before in Vanguard, and to my knowledge, it's never been attempted again. I have no idea why, because this is a really, really cool effect. But, well, maybe it's a good thing that Bushiroad has never attempted this again, because that means that we have a really unique card in the Vanguard history books. Now, moving on, we have another grade 3 in Ditto the Liter Gallon. Now, this card hasn't come out yet as of the time of recording. It's going to be released in VBT 08, but, well, just look at it. It has 0 printed power. That's gonna be a unique card for sure. And as you can guess, yeah, it's really cool. At the start of your battle phase, it matches the power of your opponent's Vanguard. Whoa, what? At the start of either battle phase? So if your opponent's Vanguard is 53k, then you just have a 53k Vanguard for turn? That's so cool. That's never been done before. Like, that's why it's called Ditto the Litter, because it matches your opponent. So yeah, this card has some pretty interesting applications that people have been talking about. But me personally, I'm just really happy that we have a proper power matcher in Vanguard, because that's an effect that we haven't seen before, and hopefully we don't see in any other card, so this card can keep its uniqueness. Now, moving on to number 4, we have Interdimensional Dragon Beyond Order Dragon. This is probably one of the oldest cards on this list. It's Gear Chronicles Generation Break 8 card. And the reason it's on this list is because, well, we have several extra turn cards. We have Chronovisor Heritage and we have both Mystery Flare Dragons. However, Beyond Order Dragon gives you an additional main phase and battle phase. That isn't a thing any other card does. Even the extra turn ones, they give you a straight up extra draw phase, extra ride phase, extra stride step, etc., etc. But Beyond Order says, no, this is just an extra main phase and battle phase. So in some ways, this is weaker because your opponent's Vanguard like carries the trigger power, but you also get to keep your trigger power, so maybe it's worth it. I think Beyond Order, like giving him the extra main phase, is a good choice by Bushiroad because it keeps his ability unique, and in some ways, like even as we get better extra turn cards, Beyond Order will always keep that uniqueness to him. So, moving on to the top 3, all 3 cards will be from the new set Premium Collection 2020, just a bit of spoilers. And number 3, we have Mega Colony Stride, the one everyone's been memeing about. Their Panor, I think that's how you pronounce that name. So yeah, Mega Colony Stride, people have been saying it's really bad, but it is unique. I will say, it's the only card in the game that makes your opponent flips face-up cards in their G zone. Now, Premium Collection 2020 did explore a lot of interesting design spaces. I didn't want to dedicate this list just to those cards, but I will have to concede that, yeah, this card is really cool. Well, in concept anyway, because you make your opponent run out of cards in their G zone to stride, which is a fine idea in concept, but well, this card kind of sucks, which is the worst part because maybe Bushiroad was being careful because making your opponent unable to strike their favorite card is a bit of a is a bit of an unfun game choice. So yeah, hopefully we don't see more of this. Hopefully at least, well, I'm just sorry for the Mega Colony players that have to put up with this card for their premium collections, right? Like, oh, you poor things. But yeah, it is still a pretty cool card. It's a unique effect, and I'm glad that Bushiroad made it. Now, moving on to number 2, we have Nebula Dragon, Varioen Dragon. This is Link Joker's stride from Premium Collection 2020, and it's on this list because of its ability to destroy markers. Now, this is the first card and probably only card that will be able to destroy markers because I don't think Bushiroad wants that to be a part of standard, and goodness me, I have no idea if premiums are even going to be a thing 1 year from now, but Varioen Dragon destroys markers. That's a thing that a lot of people have been talking about since markers were introduced. Like, oh, maybe deleters is going to delete gifts. Maybe, Link Joker's gonna lock gifts or something like that. And they actually did it this time. Podium Dragon deletes all gifts on the board and all protect markers in hand and then gains plus 10k in a crit for each of them. So it's not even a bad card. Like you can use it to push your opponent and make them, drop their PGs because he's gonna be huge and having crits and stuff. But yeah, destroying markers, huh? It gets rid of Excel, it gets rid of Force, it gets rid of Grand Blue's treasure markers. So yeah, there's nothing to hate about this card. It's really cool effect. But number one, I think this cannot be trumped. This is the most unique effect in Vanguard by far because this is the only card that fundamentally changes the game rule, and that is Holy Seraph Basasile. Angel Feather Stride from Premium Collection 2020. This card is balls, I will say. Okay, so I'm an Angel Feather player and I hate this card because it's really bad, but this effect is so unique. It fundamentally changes the game rule where if you have 6 cards in your damage zone, you lose. Instead, it makes it so you have to have either 7 or 8 cards in your damage zone to finally lose. And well, we haven't had that before. We've been waiting for it. Like people have been saying, why doesn't Angel Feather have this kind of ability? And now we finally have it. And it's super cool. Like this is such an interesting design. It's the only card in the game that changes a fundamental game rule. Like, if this card was actually good, I would be so happy with its existence, but it's not. Oh man. So yeah. Holy Seraph Basasile is, I think, the most unique card in Cardfight Vanguard. And take none away from the other cards on this list. They are all have really interesting effects, and I hope Bushiro takes some of them to be more, to be a future like gimmick in the next coming sets. But at the same time, I am happy that these cards exist in Vanguard history as one-off effects. So let us know what you think down below. Do you want Bushiro to explore these unused mechanics and expand upon them, or do you want to keep them on these individual cards and just make these cards be completely unique? So yeah, let us know down below. Let us know what you think of the video. Give us a like if you like it, and of course, see you in the outro! Thanks for watching the video. If you like what you saw, make sure to like and comment down below. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any new uploads. Thank you all for watching. This is Toyo from Hogogo Card Time. See you next time! Bye bye!